Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer.
And I am Bertrum.
And I am Professor Charles Waldman.
And this is our review for ONI. So, dear viewer, ONI originally released in 2001. A year I remember fondly as the year I first played such fantastic video games as Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Hillbilly,
Liberty,
Max Payne as in P-A-I-N.
I think you'll find it's P-A-Y-N-E.
And Onimusha War Dogs.
Warlords.
It was also the year I first kissed a girl.
Farm animal.
But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to discuss ONI. And just like that beautiful bearded bastard Barry Burton, you're probably wondering,
what is this? What is it? What is this?
ONI is a third-person action game thing from those talented bastards at Bungie, a company that would go on to make the Destiny games. You know, I hate online multiplayer games.
We know.
In fact, I hate multiplayer full stop! Exclamation mark, inappropriate comma.
Again, we know.
But I've always enjoyed Destiny.
Oh, is it because that's where you met your third wife?
Oh, good lord, no. I almost forgot about her.
Whatever happened to her, Reuben, oh boy?
Well, I hear she had an unfortunate accident with a ceiling fan.
Oh my.
So, what's the story of ONI? I'm so glad you asked, dear viewer. This game tells the story of Kanoko, who is totally not inspired by that woman from Ghost in the Shell.
Major Kusanagi.
Anyway, as Kanoko, you have to take down the dreaded syndicate and find out more about yourself or some such bollocks.
I believe they call it a journey of self-discovery.
Also known as some such bollocks, like I said. But as you all know, the story in these games exists simply to give the action and the mass memeage a reason. So as Kanoko, you run through stages, shooting enemies, beating up enemies, and most importantly, looking for terminals to open fucking doors, which, as everyone knows, is my favorite thing to do in video games.
Oh, really?
He's being sarcastic.
Oh.
So let's review this video game the only way I know how, badly. And let's start with what I liked about ONI. Speaking of things I like it when you subscribe to the channel. So do that for me, dear viewer, post haste. And maybe you'll win the lottery, or something. The first thing I simply must commend ONI for is its anime cutscenes. You actually think you're watching Ghost in the Shell. Granted, there's only two of the bloody things, one at the beginning and one at the end, but they are still splendid.
Oh, splendid.
I just said that, Professor.
You did? Oh, I was too busy admiring this character's beauty.
Yes, Kanoko is indeed lovely, if not a little fictional for my tastes. I also really enjoyed the game's story, even if it does lean a little too much into Ghost in the Shell territory. You know, our lead character is an android, she has a secret past that she must uncover, she gets betrayed by yada yada yada, and so on and so forth.
Oh, I think I know that story.
I know, Ghost in the Shell. I've said it 4 times already.
You did? I was too busy admiring this character's beauty.
Then let's move on to what I didn't like so much about the game. Maybe that will keep your attention, Professor. Now, this might be advertised as an action game, but sadly the melee combat as well as the shooting isn't the best. There's no block button, no auto lock, no rip Kaneko's clothes off button, and while you do fight a lot of enemies in this game, I think most of my time was spent looking for terminals to unlock doors. I'm not kidding for once, because as everyone knows, I tell a lot of jokes in these videos.
I'd say you make amusing anecdotes more than tell jokes.
Shut up, Bertram. And let me just say that the platforming in this game is awful. Thankfully, though, you don't have to do a lot of it. I lost count of how many times I fell into a bloody pit or off a ledge. And there was no sexual when Kaneko hit the ground like Lara Croft.
Most disappointing.
Yes, quite. And last but not least, let's talk about the visuals. Outside of the 2 anime cutscenes that I mentioned before, this is a PS2 game from the early 2000s. So as to be expected, this game looks about as appealing as a gorilla in a dress. Oh, and if you were expecting the game to have a soundtrack worthy of something like Ghost in the Shell, let me just temper your erection.
Expectations.
The soundtrack is meh with a capital M and a disparaging So what do I think of ONI? Well, ONI is a perfectly fine little early 2000s PlayStation 2 action game with some nice anime cutscenes and character portraits. Nothing more, nothing less. I do so hope that we get a remaster/remake/adult movie parody at some point in the future.
What?
Therefore, I declare that ONI is perfectly fine, I guess. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my review for ONI. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Say goodbye, Bertram.
Goodbye, Bertram.
Say goodbye, Professor.
Yes, goodbye, Professor.
Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.